All right. I'm just going to dive in and probably tell you stuff that you already know, but it'll be recorded and then everybody else will get a chance to know it as well. I just keep checking the boring World Health Organization website and clicking on, this is just inb.who.int. You click on public hearings and lo and behold, a little while ago, they added this link to this page. And so they, most of this is the same. They run into some folks who thought that this was the deadline for the videos. Okay, so there's the potential for that confusion. But as it worked out with the time zones, it was kind of how I thought. Friday at 9, I guess that's Central European time, is actually midnight tonight for me. So that's 15 hours from now, right? So that's when that's going to start. And then this is 5 p.m. Geneva time, which is 8 in the morning Pacific time. So for anybody who wants to submit a video, it's really only going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, unless you wake up really early on Tuesday. Points to note, and this is the one that I think is something to note. You will be asked for a form of identification when you register to contribute your video. I think that's going to be a deal breaker for an awful lot of people. And having a transcript is reasonable, clear statement of what you said or meant to say, because the way I think this is going to be set up is people are going to have to read their transcript at the moment. They won't be able to submit recorded videos. And that's actually, you know, to be fair, that's an appropriate way of protecting anybody from having malware be uploaded and a bunch of garbage be uploaded. And I'll talk about some systems with that. But the real kicker here is the terms of participation. Okay, and I have that summarized elsewhere. I'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, you know, they say they're going to, you know, I don't know how you randomly select, but then ensure gender balance and geographical representation. Interesting algorithm. I'd love to see the flow chart. So now I'm going to bop over to Screw the Who, which is still technically a draft. I hope to publish it tonight. I was going to wait to actually officially publish it until I saw what they were going to be doing with their actual uploading process. And I may still do that, you know, put a little tutorial in for people who might want to upload it. But you know, I guessed right with the times. All of this stuff does seem to be appropriate. But really, the kick in the butt comes all the way down to here. These terms are just unacceptable. I won't read all of these. People can see them on the website. But essentially, you have no right to participate in public hearings, and anything that you say can and will be used against you. And if they don't like what you say, then they're just going to ignore you. And this just all seems like a big filtering mechanism to give the charade and the illusion of public comment, while they're just building a propaganda tool to present on Thursday and Friday, the 29th and the 30th. Done a couple of things here that I'm going to encourage people to do instead. They're making it hard for us to get our word directly to the people that are, you know, in charge of the negotiations. So here's all their addresses. Okay. These are all the intergovernmental negotiating body folk, the regional chair people and the secretariat. I've also set up a hotline that's just a glorified Google Voice number where people can leave a recorded voice message, and I'll download the voice messages and put them up on screwthewho.com. And these are a couple of things that I want to talk about. Social juice, not social justice. A gentleman out of Malaysia raised my awareness of these and helped set up a thing. And so this is similar to what I think the WHO is going to do. A bunch of words that we're going to edit, but basically, I think the WHO is going to have a system like this where you go onto a website, you click on a button, and you'll see my ugly mug pop up here in a moment. It'll make it so that I can record a message. And the interesting thing is they're probably going to have a thing whereby you hold up your identification and it takes a photo of it, and then it'll allow you to start recording. So I click the button. Hey, look at that, I'm making my recording. This particular system lets you check it and determine whether or not, hey, look at that, I'm making my recording. Whether or not you want to upload it. You can generally edit it or whatever. I clicked on upload. I'll put my name in and send it. Once you click that box right there, they own you. They own your material. They own everything you just did. And so I cannot in good conscience tell people to do that. Some people may, and that's wonderful. And the floor is open. If we can just have people raise their hand, and that's all I really want to say. I think you folks are all up to speed. Whoever wants to go first, and then everybody else, if y'all can raise your hand. I'm gonna call on you, Mike, because you're on the top left of my screen. And then everybody else, if you can raise your hand, we'll just go in order.
I was about to raise my hand. I'm unmuted. Okay.
Yeah,
So I read the documents last night after you sent them to me. When you say can and will be used against you, you're just speaking figuratively. I don't remember seeing.
I do not want to give them the address on my driver's license. Hey, come get me. But also, yes, a little bit, hyperbolic. But if somebody said something and it was snipped out of context, and then you're like, oh, that's not what I meant. I've had that experience, right? And so it's a little bit facetious, a little bit hyperbolic, but there will be people who will be very angry. And come on, I'm just reading everybody their Miranda rights, right? You go on to their thing and you threaten them. Don't do that. So I'm not totally being hyperbolic. It can and will be used against you. Don't do it.
Okay.
You're not going to do something like that, but there are people who would, and they'll be.
Well, I would have said it's high time to strip them of international immunity. I would have said things like that. That's akin to a legal threat.
A legal threat is one thing, but there will be people who are very emotional and will vent in a manner that will be borderline, if not over the line, criminal. And I cannot in good conscience tell people to walk into that trap. I've been saying that the whole time.
Okay.
I know you got more questions. No? No, you can come back. Okay. Michael, you good? No more questions?
Yeah, I'm good.
Catherine, you're up next.
Yeah, you know what? I've been kind of fighting with myself over whether or not I want to. The only way I would post on the Who Now would be to change my message entirely. But to change my message entirely, I'd have to edit a tremendous amount. I mean, it wouldn't be any spirituality in there at all. It would be like something like, the entire structure of the Who should be changed if you want public confidence. What you might need to do is just not have anybody that's working there now be there, and then make it only a research type of an information group and not a policy one. I would have to say something like that. But I'm not sure that that's worth going through, and I'm sure a lot of people are gonna feel that way. I'm sitting there with my passport going, you know, they do a lot of stuff with passports, right? I mean, I don't want my passport messed with. So what I think is actually, I like the idea of fostering a lot of groups where there are a lot of different 90-second responses to this that do get out to the public, but it's not, it doesn't have to go to the WHO. And in my mind, I was like, I keep telling people if their video is not accepted, it can be hosted on another website. But given what their conditions are, perhaps we should shoot for hosting on other sites, because it's not nice to play with bullies. You don't want to go knock on the door of a bully and say, hey, I'm having a birthday party. You know, it's just not going to go well at all. And, you know, so that's my thought, is to just develop more of a network of, you know, where it gets fairly big and a lot of people can really watch these videos and really learn something.
I hope that the folks who have expressed, for what it's worth, Catherine is in Ecuador. I hope that some of the folks that you've spoken to actually do come through and submit to you, right, a video that I've collected a good number of, you know, pretty powerful videos that are already up on screwthewho.com, and ideally, as many of additional videos come in today, Spanish speaking, Justina, if anyone wants to do in Polish or any other language throughout Europe that you know, one of the requirements with the WHO is there's only 6 languages: Arabic, Chinese, French, Spanish, English, and I'm missing one.
Russian.
Russian, thank you. You know, no Italian, no German, no Portuguese, you know, no Thai, no Vietnamese, no Japanese, no, you know, how many other languages are there? I'm happy to host any of those videos, you know, and share it with people. And if you know anybody who speaks in a different language, that would be spectacular. Have them do a video. And, you know, at this point, you know, the 90 seconds is good because it focuses people's attention. But, you know, obviously, if somebody wants to put up a 10-minute rant, I'm down with that. You know, that's cool. You good, Catherine?
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
Justina, I know you never have anything to say, so don't hold back. Don't hold back.
No, that's, I mean, that's absolutely fine. I understand. I mean, most of the people in Poland here were going to make videos in English anyway, though it is much difficult if you're not doing it in your mother language, mother tongue, because you have to actually make sure that it's 90 seconds and all the other issues. However, I think at the moment with the stuff that they've put on there, the other thing that I noticed, and it's pretty, well, it's not concerning, it's just expected, is that they've also mentioned that if the videos are not connected to the question, then they will be found irrelevant. And I guess even looking at the 90-second response that I've done, you could say that's irrelevant, because the question is, how would you suggest for us to improve and make this pandemic treaty better? And the response in my video, and I know in most of the videos of people, is, well, we don't actually want it at all. So they might find that totally irrelevant. And looking at that, that's automatically a video that would not even be taken into consideration, right? So I think the question, the whole thing is bigger in this way, that not only does it not allow you to actually freely say what you think, I don't want this treaty, but what it does is, we spoke about it, it puts you in a corner. You give us advice how we should do it better, and we will take that advice. And they're not even taking into consideration the fact that we don't want it at all. So something that Catherine said as well, I wouldn't change my message. I don't want to change my message. That is what my message, this is what I think. If I would, it would be playing with the bully, exactly what she said. And at the same time, I think the only other option is also suggested another website where we can all the organizations around the world that are against it probably put our videos in, because it would be massive collection, I assume. We were thinking that we will take that link once the videos are uploaded, and we will hit our, whether it is our local parliament members or etc., because we want them to know where these real videos are. And it's quite clear that WHO is not going to permit for people to have the voice one way or the other. You muted, James.
It's pretty hard to mute me. It's only the machines that do it. There is a legitimate question amongst people in our circles, just in terms of how to present this. I'm relatively certain that the World Council for Health is still going to be using hashtag stop the treaty and hashtag exit the WHO, which is, quite wonderful. It's fine and dandy. And, I'm happy to support all of that. I've got hashtag screw the WHO and leave the WHO and stop the WHO and abolish the WHO and whatever you want to call it. Let me mute myself out. Someone is contacting me, maybe trying to get into the Zoom. So go right ahead, Doug.
Okay. Yeah, I think Ms. Walker brings up a very good point about the question that they will be focusing on. Let's just put that question out here so that we can address it. So the second round of public hearings will address the guiding question. Based on your experience with the COVID-19 pandemic, what do you believe should be addressed at the international level to better protect against future pandemics? Now, in my response, I'm just giving you an example of what's going through my mind here. The way I address this question is I tweak it a little bit to get my viewpoint across, but I actually put the question that they're asking me, I put that question into my response. And this is what I said. I said, to better protect against the exploitation of future pandemics, any international treaty must acknowledge and adhere to our rights as drafted in the People's Treaty, which was presented to this body by Mr. James Roguski during the first round of public hearings. Now, I say it that way because when Mr. Roguski introduced the People's Treaty during the first session, it became public at that point. And so I think, from my own personal perspective, I think the best thing for us to do is to assert what he has already provided to the World Health Organization. Now, asserting these things means that obviously we agree with it, we stand behind it, but at the same time, when we use the word assert, it means that we are willing to and able, obviously, to defend this. And so we can say these things without having to use rash language, if you know what I'm saying. We don't have to, get what's the word, in their face or anything. Just use the right words, succinct, and just plain and simple. That's the way I see it. I think we should
their word
focus
would
on
be decorum, the proper
right.
decorum.
Right. We would have decorum if we just stay succinct, to the point, and keep it at that. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. So
Okay, Doug and Jim and Dr. Rapidi and Dr. Chetty and Helen, the floor is yours if anyone would like to speak.
Hi, James.
Yes, Dr. Chetty.
I just got in. I'd like a few minutes to catch up with what's going on in the meeting.
Sure. The general
I'll have some comments soon.
Sure. The general gist of it is that the WHO has published rules of engagement, basically, that make it very clear that they're going to be able to throw away any of the comments, videos that they wish. And to make it simple for everyone here, what I hope everyone can do, a handful of folks here already have, anyone who wants to record a video and send it to me, ideally you put it up on Rumble or BitChute or Odyssey or Brighteon or any of the channels, or the platforms rather. I would love to have your videos included in the article, screwthewho.com, because I have not yet officially published it. And so later today or maybe early tomorrow, it all depends how this all shakes out. It would be great if you get a video, if you wish, that I could include in that initial newsletter, broadcast, email blast, if you will. And for anybody who's already done a video, if you want to do another one and just let her rip with whatever it is you want to say, please do. Please do. And the idea is they're clearly trying to censor and filter and monitor the voices of we the people. And I'm trying to set the example of, no, what is it you want to say? Please do, speak freely. And I know, Dr. Chetty, you do not have a way with words. So I know I won't get a spectacular video from you. I'm obviously being facetious. We've probably got about maybe 12 or 15 minutes to go. And so I certainly don't want to dominate the conversation. Michael, coming back at you. Any other thoughts?
So I guess not really. Honestly, I thought I would, because we talked last night, I thought I would wake up with some more resolve as to what to do. I don't think I would discourage people to make videos and submit them to the World Health Organization, because unfortunately, I mean, if they get a paucity of critical, their strategy is to make it so that people are on our side are reticent to put in contributions, and then they can show 6 hours of footage or 3 hours of footage. Is it 2 3-hour sessions? 6 hours of footage of people all saying, hey, I think you guys are great. Let's tighten, let's throw some teeth on your recommendations and make them binding. That's what they want to happen, obviously. I don't know if anyone's going to actually give them that, but well, somebody will out of 6 hours of footage. But what they want to show is that by and large, people think, well, they make mistakes, but they're an overall good organization. People who have a real animus towards them like us are not going to be as likely to trust them with our IDs and, as you mentioned, our addresses. And so unfortunately, there's sort of a weird thing. I wouldn't discourage guys on our side from sending sterilized videos that nonetheless say, look, you don't have my consent for any of this. I wouldn't encourage it either. And I'm especially because I'm not sure I'm going to do it. So it would be very hypocritical for me to encourage it, but I don't discourage it because there's a tragedy of the commons issue where, I mean, I don't know. Unfortunately, if we give them the paucity of criticism that they think they'll get, they can use it as propaganda, and then they win effectively.
Justina, that same idea, because that is, they're skillfully setting the stage for what we're faced with right now. And so, opinion on that?
Yeah, I think it's very similar. The issue with showing your ID, and like, for example, in Poland, we have just the normal IDs. You don't have your address on it, but still you have your data, etc. But with the driver's license, that they have the address where you live. And I know they're claiming that they'll just take a little snip of it, and then after they're going to dispose of it. But we all know how data protection actually works. It doesn't. And to be honest, I don't really trust that they will get rid of this information about people. So that's one thing that will definitely put a lot of people off even sending the info, even sending these videos. Everybody must decide for themselves whether they want to go and engage with the bully. That's the thing that we probably have to decide. It's everybody's decision. So just to make sure that we still encourage people to do the videos, I would probably every time promote that there is an option for the other side that we've mentioned, to drop these videos and keep it there.
You're muted.
I'm muted.
James.
Hey, we've got about 10 minutes to go, and I just want to give everybody the opportunity to say what they would like to say.
Okay, I've unmuted my mic, so this is Jim. Since we've been talking, James, for the last week or so, that you've informed me on what's going on. I've made the decision. I'm going to make a video. It's going to be much longer than 90 seconds, but my intention is not to send it to the WHO, but rather any alternative. I'll post it probably to our Rumble page. But and the reason for that, I don't want to do anything that would give legitimacy to the World Health Organization, because quite frankly, I don't believe they have any or should have any legitimacy. They're just as Justin said, or somebody did, a bully. I mean, they're basically trying to throw their weight around to dictate, to create a dictatorial process where they can usurp the authority of all the member countries. And to me, that, first of all, they have to go through some kind of authorization process in the U.S., whether it be a Senate vote. Any treaty that the U.S. enters into has to be approved by the Senate. I don't know if there's a way to get around that for this with the WHO, but I don't want to give them any legitimacy whatsoever. So I will not participate with the WHO whatsoever, but I will upload my video to my platform, then share the link with you, James.
Okay, anyone else, please?
Hi, James.
Hi, Dr. Chetty, please.
Yeah, I understand the issues we face. This is a double-edged sword. In one way, we'd like to air our opinions. On the other end, we grant legitimacy to a body that actually has no legitimacy. And so we've got to be very cautious about how we approach it. From an organizational standpoint, I think that we need to take a leaf out of mainstream media's book. So if humanity wants to speak with one voice and get them to see that we actually do speak with one voice, you would have noticed with mainstream media that they had catchphrases that they put out to the public, and every media station reiterated exactly the same phrase when they looked at all the different things, vaccination, whatever it was. Every station had the same playbook. So if we as humanity have the same playbook, they can't ignore us. So instead of rambling on about how you hate them, maybe a catchphrase of a video from every person that's exactly the same, like screw you, and everyone says the same. They'll have a 10-second video from 1 million people all saying the same thing, and they can't ignore us. So it doesn't dilute the message. We're showing them that they have no legitimacy, but we're not really getting involved in the discussion. We're just explaining to them that we feel that they are not legitimate, but we all do it in exactly the same way. So maybe we should send them videos, but to negate legitimizing what they do, all the videos should be prescripted with exactly the same one-liner. And everyone does exactly the same line. So you can't pick out bits and pieces that actually play to your agenda. So just an idea.
If I may, I'm going to share a screen. You got to love it from Doug in Canada. Let me just share this with you. Some people may know a group called Interest of Justice. Okay, this is on screwthewho.com. It's down at the bottom, and I see I have a typographical error there. I'll have to fix that. They put together a wonderful video. I encourage you to watch it. But what both Interest of Justice and Prevent Genocide 2030.org, that link there, are doing is they've set up a intake form. Hopefully it will load here. Okay. They have a page where, again, this is the same video, where people can upload either a link to the video or literally drag and drop and upload a video here. So that is a collection portal, repository, if you will. Same thing with, you know what, I'll pull this back up here just to show people what it looks like. Prevent Genocide 2030, similar idea, but only with the link, not with the ability to upload the actual file. Same thing here, put your name and your email and country of origin and the URL where the video is. So we've got some things in place to collect those videos. I know that the World Council for Health is settling in, I believe they're settling in on hashtag stop the treaty and hashtag exit the WHO. And that's probably as good as any. I've obviously adopted screw the WHO, but I'm not doctrinaire about that. That's just me being me. If we rally around stop the treaty and exit the WHO, that's probably a decent tagline. It's two separate things, but you know, that's a reasonable thing to do. And if we all get behind that and record videos that are short and sweet and a little bit of, you know, the individual person's something, but then repeating that, I think you have a very good idea, Dr. Chen.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got just under 4 minutes. There's been a couple of folks who haven't spoken, and that's totally fine. Anybody else with anything else? Going once, going twice.